Hello everyone, this is Shannon from That's So Poe, and today I'm going to be doing a wrap-up and reflections of my time on Booktube. So if you've been following my channel for a while, you'll have noticed that over the past year or so, my content has been less and less frequent as I've struggled to kind of sit down and find the energy and motivation to film. And although I've tried quite a few different things, especially the past half year, it's been really challenging. And I'm just recognizing that right now my motivation is a lot more towards my other hobbies, things like I just want to go out and hike and I want to paint and I want to play board games, and I'm just struggling to sit down and film or want to edit or anything like that. So I think that it's just kind of reached a natural ending point for me for Booktube. I also have found that Booktube is a lot about the community and the discussions, and so many of my really close Booktube friends have left Booktube and they're no longer posting, and I no longer get to have those discussions with them. I still do have some really amazing friends on Booktube, but that definitely has also lessened my connection to Booktube over the past couple of years. So I thought this is a good time to just kind of recognize that maybe life has moved on in different ways and there's other stuff that I want to focus on right now. But I thought that as part of that, I would go ahead and just wrap up some of what I have done while I'm on Booktube and reflect on it a little. So looking at what I have done while I'm on Booktube, I joined Booktube in December of 2018. I'd been watching for about a year before I created my own channel, but December of 2018 is when I posted my first video, which means that I have been posting on Booktube actively for 5.5 years, which is a pretty considerable time. During that time, I have posted about 570 videos, 90 of which are standalone reviews. I especially loved making the standalone reviews because I love just talking about the books that I really wanted to get other people to read. So that was really interesting to see how many videos I had posted and how many standalone reviews. I have also done a ton of wrap-ups of books that I've read. So I've wrapped up almost 1,000 books that I've read, plus about 150 that I have DNF'd. And that was just fantastic. I didn't realize that I'd read so many books over the past 5 years. I also have done a ton of buddy reads, so about 100 buddy reads. Lots of those repeats with really close Booktube friends, and those have been incredibly meaningful. I loved my buddy reads, just that chance to do a live discussion as I'm reading through something with a close friend. So yeah, sometimes just looking at the numbers, it makes you realize like how much time and effort really has gone into this and how much I kind of feel like I've accomplished. So reflecting on what my Booktube experience has been, I got into Booktube because my cousin Jade at Bedtime Bookworm, who is no longer posting, was doing Booktube, and she talked about it one Christmas at a family get-together, and I started watching and got really into it, and it was such a great experience. I was so excited about it, so I decided to create my own channel. And my thoughts upon creating a channel were that I really wanted to focus on being very intentional and reflective in my reading, because up until that point, I really had just been reading a lot of genre fiction, so a lot of romance and a lot of SFF, and not necessarily being very intentional about what I kind of picked up or how I processed those books even. I would just read them and then they'd be gone, you know? I didn't discuss them with anybody really, and I didn't really stop and reflect. And so I wanted to have a space to do that, and I think that that has been really accomplished on Booktube. I think that I have gotten so much better about being intentional in what I pick up and what voices I'm making space for in my reading life, and also just intentional in terms of trying different things and seeing what works for me. I definitely did not used to be an eclectic reader. I used to read basically purely SFF and romance, and that was it, and I never did anything else. And since I've joined Booktube and I've heard about so many amazing different things, and I've become such a big library user, I've gotten the chance to try out all of these different genres and discover so many things that I absolutely love. And so many new authors. I've also just developed that skill of how to find new books, right? how to look for the sorts of things that I want to see, how to find publishers whose work I like what they're doing, how to look up at what new releases are coming out. So I've learned a lot of those skills, and also just the skill of how to use my library well. I've also kind of had this opportunity to think about what books I'm collecting and what I'm purchasing, and to get to TBR 0, which was really fantastic, so that I just feel that freedom to pick up what I want in the moment rather than that obligation of what I had in the past. So I feel like my reading itself has gone through such a big journey, and I've grown as a reader, and that makes me really, really, really happy. I've also just grown in terms of kind of the friendships that I've developed over Booktube. I was not really thinking about that deeply when I joined Booktube. I just wanted to talk about books, but the community on Booktube has been absolutely one of the best parts. I made so many amazing friends, met some of them in person, got to do so many different buddy reads, and just connect and learn from each other and discuss books, and it's been absolutely fantastic. So that has been absolutely my favorite part of Booktube. And I think that's also one of the things that really has lessened my ties to Booktube, is just all of those friends who no longer are posting because life moves on, people get busy, all those sorts of things happen. But that part has been a really key and unexpected benefit of Booktube that has brought me a lot of joy. So that has been sort of my experience on Booktube and what I've done and sort of what I've gotten out of the experience. I think that a lot of what I've done on Booktube is going to really be a benefit to me going forward as well in my life. Just even if I'm focusing on other hobbies, just the impact that Booktube has made on my reading is going to be, lifelong, lasting, in terms of how I approach reading and how I am intentional and reflective about it. I would love to hear from you guys, even if you just watch Booktube, about your experience with Booktube and sort of what your takeaways have been from that experience, how it's changed you as a reader, or how the experience has been meaningful to you. I'd love to hear that. Also, if you'd like to connect with me, I probably will still keep posting on Goodreads. I'm about like half a year behind on posting, but probably I'll try to post there as I get excited about books that I'm reading and want to share what I like. So if you haven't already, please, go ahead and add me as a friend. I always have the link to that in the description box. And I hope that you guys continue to enjoy Booktube. I'm going to still be watching a lot of my friends on Booktube and try to still gain a lot of book recommendations from it, even if I'm no longer posting. So thank you to everybody who has stuck with me, who has, even if you've just newly discovered my channel, sorry. But thank you to everyone who's commented. Comments are my absolute favorite things. And I just really appreciate you guys, and thank you.